I'm James Mason, Time Travel Wish. Today's date is December 9th, 2023. In June of this year, I put this whiteboard together and made several realizations, finds. It was the first time in the 8.5 years since knowing about my success before creation of the experiment that I blew up the telephone area of the image. So let me talk about this to preserve this with many thoughts, many that are not on here, and we'll end up with where I'm at right now with the alien stone, and that is magnets. Magnets. And it causes me to totally think about the old phone on the wall on the telephone pole, because magnets make everything work about that phone. Magnets. Magnetic coil up here activates a rocker arm that rings the bell of the phone. The crank activates the magneto that charges the magneto and sends enough voltage through the line to ring the bell of the magnetic coils of the phone you want to dial. So you can speak to them through this receiver, which uses magnets to amplify the electronic pulses for your tone, so you can hear and speak through magnets. So, you know, if your kid was bothering you in the 1950s and he was asking you, well, why does this work and how does that work? You just tell him magnets, all right? Magnets, shut up. It's a bunch of magnets. Magnetism. So that's what's going on right now, magnetism and its role. Mostly I found out the big reveal is that the very specific hieroglyph is included on the image. So in 2020, let me spin the tripod around. I can spin around. In 2020, I was stuck here. I was like, well, what the hell? Where is the very specific hieroglyph if it has to have a circle on a circle at 45 degrees to the J symbol? It's so dark here, I don't have any photographic equipment, I apologize. I look like the mysterious stranger. So that's where I had left it for 2 years. I was looking for this 2.5 years because I know about the very specific hieroglyph occurring in these 4 places. And I'm like, it's got to be here. Where's the 2 circles? Like a kid was drawing a set of nuts, testicles. And they represent to me a universe on a universe, or jumping to demonstrate there's transition from one to the other. There's a communication, there's a relationship. So where was it having to do with the phone? 2.5 years later, I found it. And that was the big reveal in the image in June. Here it is right here. You have to find the 2 black circles making up the 5 and the 6 on the 12-digit telephone dial, which is in the 12-digit telephone dial at all, and we can talk about that. If it were a real phone on the wall, we wouldn't have. If it were a real phone on the wall, this dial mechanism just would not fit inside this wooden box, along with a magneto which occupied a great deal, probably 30–40% of the space inside these little wooden boxes that the phone company would put on there. So it just serves to prove once more that the image, the time-traveled image from Google, is a complete arrangement. Every pixel, every electron, when you see it, it's all, every complete invention, possibly by an AI of great magnitude. Of course, working with people, I hope. Dark. Why were they dark? If it's something very peculiar, you look into it further with the image and with this communication. Why was the 5 and the 6 very dark? That was the reveal. So they are, because they make the perfect line to the center of the J symbol at 45 degrees, proven by the fact that your line takes the center of the dark corner of the whole image. Takes a beeline for it. So guess what? Then I had to reveal, oh my God, the corner of the image is the Guitar Rock monument. If you flopped it down and laid it over, it's the corner of the image on the property. On the property. There it is. There's the Guitar Rock. Dark stone. Never in sunlight until evening. And it's on the image. So thank goodness for that reveal, because that completed the hypothesis about the very specific hieroglyph that I was right and we're on the right track at all. To have a 5th appearance of it was great communication. Brilliant genius, or 50 brains at once kind of thinking. Because the image is in a place where millions of people can see it, where I could not have reached it to manipulate it or to place it. It's not me, it's them. It's the other side. It's proving time travel. There is Art Deco style artwork in the center of the dial that looks like a pointer. That drew me to looking for a post, because dial phones had a post where your finger stopped. It was a finger stop. And then the spring would take it back, and then you dial it again, and the spring would take it back. Your finger might get sore if you were dialing all day. You might wrap a Band-Aid on it from dialing. So if the telephone pole on the property, the column in the middle of the room is the telephone pole due west of the property, due west of the house at 270. It's in the middle of the room. It's in the middle of the wall. It's in the middle of the picture. So that also leads you to conclude maybe it's the middle of the property. Maybe that's due west. So if that's due west, what if this were a compass? I'm thinking, right? So I'd already found the alien stone by sight in 2017 because I knew I was looking for something that would be dropped in the past. So I'd already found it just by looking. But this was proof that this is leading me to the alien stone, because it's that 088 from the telephone pole was where it was located. At 088, this is behind the Guitar Rock by about 40 meters in a straight line from that line that I found on the picture that that finishes the very specific hieroglyph hypothesis. There it is again on the alien stone. There it is again on the earth over the Southern Ocean on Christmas Day to make the J symbol upside down beneath Antarctica. The J symbol, of course, didn't quite work out, didn't quite work with the bells, and it didn't quite work with the whole dial or drawing from in between the bell. It did work in between the two small dots to take me right down to the guitar rock. So that was that big reveal. The next is the metaphors of time and space and technology being a method of moving oneself in time and space, going against the flow of the river, or jumping out. Now I know I'm looking for what I had suspected, a mechanism. Because you don't conduct time travel without a very big purpose. Very big. End of the world kind of thing. Godzilla attacks. You have to go back in time and stop it. Everybody's dead. Or the atmosphere has been irradiated by ourselves and no one can live here anymore. It's hell. You have to imagine the future and what we'd go through. I think right now my hypothesis is the theory of quantum tunneling was used to move the image along, just the image. It's 99 kilobytes. 99 kilobytes only. And it had no name, unlike all the other images in that category on the Google server at Blogspot. No name, no date, no shape, size, location information, none of that. 99.9. If you turn it upside down, it would have been 666. So, big reveals June 2023. What else about this? Everything's magnetic, I repeat. So, these were a mystery, these shapes right here. On the phone, they have a metallic reflection. They look like the color of brushed steel when it's shiny and new. They look like latches. And with all that was going on in the 30s, for instance, the magnetos were being stolen from inside the boxes in the 1930s because you could go fishing with them. By using the wire and the crank, you could drop the magneto into the water, electrify, a 3-foot area, and your fish come floating up unconscious. So they were being stolen so people could eat. So they had to lock down the boxes. And this was, the latch is an innovation to open the box, shutting off the power at the same time, and allowing the technician to actually remove the box. Take it to the, and swap it out downtown at the office. Which tells me what I'm looking for is portable. Because the title of this is Where is the Power? Unlike the title of this, which is Where is the Dead Drop? Where is the dead drop on the property? And it was all about the alien stone. So I wanted to get that documented. These are the things of magnetism that are about the communication. And there's two meanings to everything from them, or from it, the being. So on our magnetized planet, we have a north side and a south side of magnets when they're dense. And when you've got, south and south together, you feel repulsion of the two. It's a force you can feel. And if it's only, we'll take two little round magnets from the whiteboard. If it's only thin amounts of magnetite in your mineral, you'll feel only a slight repulsion in your fingers. You can feel this push. But if it's more, well, here's doubled. Here's 3 on one side, 2 on the other. That distance, here we go, that distance gets further. It's now feeling like 4 to 6 centimeters of magnetic repulsion. So 2 weeks ago, I split the alien stone in 3, what was left of it. And I've been breaking off pieces from that very slowly as time allows. And I purchased a nuclear radiation detector, thinking maybe the source of the power is emitting some gamma. Maybe I can find it that way. In great amounts. Well, if it was, it would have killed me already. So it wasn't. But there's a magnet at the end of the nuclear radiation detector, and the magnet showed me repulsion on this one little spot. And it'd be a spot inside the human body, under the lungs, sort of toward the back. Because in theory, that's my own body inside that stone that I'm breaking apart. The proof was the orbital canals visible inside the stone when I opened up the buried face side, where the eyeballs were. Until that time, it had been thought to be a good sculpture, made possibly thousands of years ago. But it's not just that. So molecular transport has been exhibited twice in the experiment as an ability, in the other force, in the localized energy force, and those yet to be met. So putting me inside of stone, if it were in a molten state, liquid state, I could see that you could remolecularize somebody inside of mineral if it's magma, and it will expand and to make room. Then you'll get a mixture of real stone. It will all look like the real stone, right? Because we're filled with a lot of space. Human beings are. So what I saw inside, let me get my old brain. This is the top half where the orbital canals were, where you can see them. When in other pictures and other videos on the website, you can see them clearly. You can watch me break this off. So before fake photography, So what happens is you see the difference in tissue, and there has to be a great difference. Like there's a great difference in tissue between the vitreous fluid in the eyeball, about a half ounce of clear fluid, and the surrounding bone or orbital canal. So that you would see in a remolecularized person that had been sent inside of stone. Proof being what I have revealed. What else? What is power in the image? The magnets in this television, a great many. The cathode ray tubes. I mean, it's and the magnets galore. Electromagnetism powers the electricity brought into the house. Electromagnetic cable behind the chair runs to the other homes on this property. South. Magnets to speak, magnets to indicate you want to communicate, magnets to decide who you want to communicate with. Little magnets. And you get magnetic repulsion and attraction. And it signals things in the old analog world. That the image is targeted to. The 20th century guy who grew up with the phone dial to make a call and calling the operator, to using Wi-Fi to bounce off your signal to the International Space Station to say hello from the phone you kept in your pocket. Time and space, communication. Does this mean forward? Does this mean reverse or back to home base? Back home, back. Is this the instructions? Am I supposed to have it already? And I'm looking at the instructions before my eyes. If there was someone, again, for the 1000th time in almost 9 years, if there were someone with me, we'd get this done. James out.